Yes, so my name is David Kirk, and I am working with a recent startup, Chain Biotechnology. I entered as a senior scientist after I finished my PhD, and like I said, I'm also in charge of our online media content. So, a little bit about Chain. We're only founded 3 years ago now, very small. There's only 10 of us, but we are expanding. We primarily work with Clostridia. You might have mentioned the green biologics speaker at the beginning who mentioned Clostridia. They're a brilliant organism for industrial biotechnology. To keep our costs low, we have a unique spin-in business model that utilizes academic partnerships, whereby we rent space from academics and, oh, I'm sure they get something out of it, money. But keeps overheads low for a very small startup like us. And at the moment, we are mostly strain development scientists, but we are also looking now for fermentation scientists and people with a clinical background as we start to expand our products into healthcare. So a little bit about what we do. Clostridium, like I said, are our primary organism. They have a diverse metabolic product profile. They utilize a variety of carbon sources, such as sugars and C1 gases. And importantly for us as well, they form spores. And we want to convert Clostridium bacteria into a delivery platform for high-value industrial biotechnology chemicals, as well as production of therapeutic compounds, and as well utilize them as live biotherapeutic products. And what I mean by live biotherapeutic products is that we engineer a therapeutic Clostridium to produce therapeutics. We let them form spores, and they can be ingested where they germinate in the lower intestinal tract and secrete the therapeutic compound to fight intestinal diseases, such as IBD. Essentially what we want to do is engineer Clostridia to save the world, and I think our CEO has been saying, make Clostridia great again, and wearing a red hat, so be careful if you see him. Within Chain, we have multiple careers, and like I said, there's only 10 of us, so you have to wear multiple hats as you work in a small SME. So we have molecular biologists, microbiologists, fermentation specialists, but we want to expand now as well. We've been outsourcing a few jobs. We'd like our own in terms of clinical trial specialists, regulatory affairs, as we expand now into therapeutics. I myself, I think, tick microbiologist, molecular biologist, fermentation scientist, online media. I'm definitely not an analytics expert, but I do try. So skills, I'm going to use myself as a small case study because I graduated 2 years ago. I've been in this type of audience before for years, since I was an undergraduate. And each time you get so much information, it's all of it very helpful, but I'm just going to give you a quick case study as my background. So I have a lot of international experience. I'm from Ireland originally, did my bachelor's there. I did a PhD in Finland. And Chain now is a very diverse organization. We have, I think, 5 or 6 countries represented among our 10 staff. While I was writing up my PhD, I also did a diploma in a night course in media and journalism to get a different form of communication. As another, at the time, I considered another feather in the hat. I didn't realize how important it would be. This diverse, transferable communication skill was something very important in my interview with Chain. And I joined Chain then in 2015 after I had completed my diploma and my PhD. The last thing I have up there is cheap. Economical is probably a better word. Early career researchers are obviously a lot more economical than very experienced people, but as long as you have the key skills and you can demonstrate, obviously, you are a creative worker, a team player, as well as a hard worker, that really stands in the SME area. My key skills for the job, I originally applied for a strain development scientist job. So culturing Clostridia, they are an extraordinarily difficult organism to work with. So I was one of the few people who actually had that kind of skill. So essential skills for the job that you're going for, obviously essential for applying for a job. I also had a good publication record. I had 6 papers at the end of my PhD. And I brought something quite new to the table in terms of the media and journalism. qualification. So in Chain, what we are looking for, I suppose, are people with experience culturing Clostridia, working with anaerobic bacteria, and in general working with difficult organisms. A lot of the skills are transferable for these kinds of things. Project management and lab organization is something that we have within the company, but any experience in terms of management is always good. Metabolic engineering, strain development. We are still very much an R&D focused company. Our products are at the moment still being developed, and we are looking to take some therapeutics to preclinical trials this year. So we are also looking for analysts in that area, and as well people with any clinical expertise to add to our growing expertise in this area. Anaerobic and gas fermentation to cultivate our bacteria and make our products are something that we're always interested in. Where do you get these skills? If you have not got them through your PhD or your master's already, internships with companies, Chain have done a few at this point, voluntary work. I'm not a big fan of voluntary work. It means you don't usually get paid. But summer courses and night courses have greatly contributed to my own strengths. And as well, if you have just a network of people, I mean, I love the NIBs. The NIBs are fantastic for getting small business interaction vouchers and proof of concept funding for our small company. This kind of external funding is what we use the most. So through networks and looking through networks like the NIBs, you'll see jobs advertised with small companies such as Chain. So who we're looking for, on our website, chainbiotech.com, we have a Working With Us tab, and you will soon see some jobs posted up there. There's nothing up there at the moment, but they will be advertised, and also through Twitter @chainbiotech. But we will be looking in the very near future for a fermentation specialist, downstream processing, chemical engineering, molecular biologists with expertise in proteins, as well as research associates who have been involved in clinical trials, or any kind of clinical experience would be beneficial. And all the time we are accepting interns, PIP students from DTP programs, and research technicians. So thank you for listening, and if you have what it takes to join the Chain Gang, oh God, yes, the Chain Gang, let's be proud of it. Send an email to our research manager, Dr. Dana Helt. That's her email up there, and you can find me here today. We do not have an exhibit on, but I will be doing the one-to-ones and just wandering around. I'd like to thank our collaborators finally at Nottingham and in London, and of course CBMnet for having us, and all of the NIBs for the funding through the years. So thank you.